in my mind, this is how I've seen the most success happen for business. Now, I can't think, frankly, of very many companies that I've worked with over the last couple of years that haven't asked the question at one point during the consultation, our social media is a big waste of time. We put money into it. Maybe we bought a marketing coordinator. Maybe we did all these different things, and we just cannot seem to get any return on investment for what we're doing with social media. And frankly, after looking at their social media feed, it's not surprising at all, because the stuff they're posting, there's zero engagement. Nobody cares about what they're posting, and they're certainly not going to get any customers from it. I'm hoping to change that today. Now, today's topic is a little bit more technical than what maybe you're used to, or certainly more than what our last Facebook Live video was about. And so don't let me lose you here. There's a little bit more meat. But if you can grab hold of this concept, your social media strategy in your business really will take off. I've seen it time and time again. So one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to try to convince you that social media should be part of your strategy. You should know that already. Frankly, if you're not doing that, then we need to have probably a deeper conversation. But for today, we're just going to talk about social media. And in this example, I'm just going to talk about Facebook. Although in your business, you may be using Instagram or Pinterest or Snapchat, maybe, depending on what your business model. And so these strategies all work as well in those industries. But we're going to use Facebook just because it's kind of the core thing that everybody's on, so you should be able to get it. So most businesses, when they post on their Facebook feed or their social strategy, they're just kind of posting stuff randomly. Maybe they're writing a blog post about the latest technology in their industry, or a reminder about something that they need. And they do that because they need to educate their customers, right? And as passionate business owners, we know that our biggest problem is if we could just get our customers to understand how important it is that this element that we provide would really improve their life so much, and that we can help them. If we could just get them to understand that, so let's slam them with it with social media. And just frankly, it doesn't work that way. And so what I want to do is change your paradigm a little bit in the way that you're thinking of social media. Instead of you thinking of a vertical feed, I want you to think a little bit more horizontally into different categories that, frankly, all social media content can fall into. And I want to share these categories with you real quick. So the first category, and the one I was alluding to just a second ago, is the educational category. Now, in this category, we're posting, features about our business or our service, maybe technical details. If I'm a dentist, I can make you a crown with this new awesome machine. Maybe it's new equipment. If I'm an HVAC person, we just bought this new compressor, we bought this new testing tool, and so now we can make your life better. So basically, we're talking about all of these features. And I would say that most businesses that I do consulting with, when I look at their Facebook feed, the majority of their content is educational. Here's the big secret. Nobody cares. Your customers don't really care about this kind of stuff, even though as passionate business owners, we care tremendously, right? We want to share all this information as often as possible because we just want our customers to come along and understand and sync up with what we're trying to provide. But the reality is your customers don't care, and their engagement on your social media feed absolutely shows it. They're not liking it, they're not sharing it, they're not commenting it. On occasion they do, right? But for the most part, they're not. And so I would say, in general, we want to be posting on our educational section of our content. We want that to be about 10% of the content that we're posting on our Facebook feed. Only 10%. So 1 out of every 10 posts, we're going to post something that's educational or more technical or a feature-based thing for our business. Okay, 10%. Now, these are what I've seen, these percentages of what I've seen on the majority of business. Your business might be a little bit different, I understand that, but in general, shouldn't be more than 10%. Okay, second category is humor. And we see this a lot, don't we? So that could be the form of memes, or that could be maybe funny videos, or I even put down here a little story of, if you remember, and let me take you back about 8 or 10 years ago, Domino's Pizza had Bad Andy, right? And it was this kind of weird little Muppet monkey thing or whatever, and he was unplugging the pizza ovens and doing all these different things. For some reason, Domino's or their marketing agency thought that this was going to be a brilliant idea, and that their customers were really going to sync up with and identify with this weird character, and so it was going to build loyalty, I assume, with their business. Turns out it was a terrible campaign. Nobody liked it. Nobody liked it at all. As a matter of fact, an executive for Domino's later went on and said that it was the worst advertising campaign, scored the worst of advertising campaign since they had kept track of advertising campaigns, not just for Domino's, but advertising in general. And so that's how bad this campaign was. It was terrible. And so they tried to be funny. It absolutely flopped. I found that in most cases, humor falls a little flat. And if you try to constantly be humorous of your business, one thing can happen that's a little scary, and that is that sometimes humor can be a little hurtful, and it can, what might be funny to a group of your target segment, another target might absolutely hate it and maybe even be offended by it. And so you can actually lose business by being in this humor category. Now, I get it. Maybe you think you're hilarious and you think you've got something to post, but I'm warning you, be very, very careful when you go down the path of posting humorous type posts. And so in general, that shouldn't be any more than 1% or even 0%, frankly. But if you have to post humor, try to make it no more than 1% of the total content that you're posting on your Facebook feed. Okay, stay with me here. We're almost through our categories. So the third category is culture. Now, there's been a lot of talk about culture these last couple years. Culture can be, things about your staff, the why behind your business, right? You're passionate about the way that you started your business because you solved this problem, or you created this product, or you do this service better than anybody else. You're passionate, and I get it. If you can really tell them the why behind it, that's culture, right? That's really the meat that people are going to grab onto and really identify with your business and ultimately buy your product and become loyal customers. Can also be about your clients and the way that they interact. I love, frankly, orthodontists is a great example. If you go to a good orthodontic Facebook feed, they're so much fun. They're having crazy dress-up day, and they're having client appreciation days, and they're showing these cool before and afters of these different businesses that are, patients that are going through their process. It's awesome, right? It's great culture, and that's really what I'm talking about. If you can harness the culture that's inside your business, that should be about 40 to 60% of the total content that you're posting on your Facebook feed. Okay, the next category is community. Now, in this section, we're talking about these are the charities that we belong to or we support, or here's a picture of us working on that Habitat for Humanity home, or maybe it's a local event, maybe that you're going to promote, or maybe it's a shout out. Right? Some of the best clients that I have with their Facebook feed, what they do is they'll give a shout out to the local high school football team, or they'll get a shout out to a centurion that's in their community, and they'll really give them some praise and those kind of things. Do you think that's going to get some engagement from the community? Do you think that's going to get some loyalty? Do you think that's going to get some exposure and some shares, maybe to people that you wouldn't have contacted with before? Absolutely. Community posts are magical. Community posts really build community, and the most important thing is that builds trust, right? That's what you're trying to convince the community of, is that they can trust you more than they can trust your competitor. And that's how you build that, is through community posts. And so in most cases, that should also be 40 to 60% of the total content that you're sharing on your Facebook feed. Now, the last category, controversial. Okay, so that's political. That's maybe a local issue or other national issues that are really hot. Something that's happened in the news, entertainment, whatever. That's a controversial side post. Now, in most cases, in almost every kind of business, especially if you're a local business that needs the entire community to support you in order for you to be viable, you're going to stay clear away from controversial posts. It's going to be exactly 0% of the type of posts that you're going to post on your Facebook feed. Now, I know you might be super passionate. Maybe you love President Trump, or maybe you hate President Trump. Your business page has absolutely no place to be posting those type of things. Now, the one caveat is if your business is reliant on controversy, if you make your money through something because of politics, or maybe you're a concealed weapon holder, accessory salesman, or whatever it is, maybe that is where you're going to be. But in most cases, with most businesses, it should be about 0%. Okay, so here's the key. So what you do is, and this is my assignment to you, over the next little bit, I want you to look at your last 6 months of Facebook posts, okay? And I want you to take each of those posts and I want you to assign them to one of these categories. And then once you assign them to the category, I want you to look and see which types of posts got the most likes, got the most shares, got the most comments, got the most engagement. Now, the smart scientist marketer would then take that data and would then say, okay, well, we're getting a lot of interaction and engagement on this culture, and we're not really getting very much of educational. Awesome. You're going to narrow down your funnel, and you're going to build your Facebook strategy based on what's going to get the most engagement and the most results. And so what you're going to find is that you're going to build a equation here that's going to work awesome for you. It's content plus engagement equals return on investment. Facebook is where your customers are at. That's where they're hanging out. And so if you're posting the type of thing that they're going to engage with, you're going to find greater loyalty, greater trust, and ultimately better return on investment. Now, I know this is a big concept and this is a little hard and it takes a little bit of work, but I can tell you that your competition is not thinking of social media in this way. And so if you will take that step and if you will refine your strategy and really build something that somebody's really going to engage with, you will leapfrog your competition. You'll build a social media strategy that will work. You'll gain that return on investment, and then everybody's happy.